So as important as that gospel is, I'm going to pass on that today because we covered the importance of the Eucharist 2 weeks ago. So we're doing pretty good in that department, for the short term. Instead, I want to focus on that second reading. Do not grieve the Holy Spirit. We must put away all bitterness, anger, fury, and reviling, and in place of these, be kind, compassionate, and forgiving. This is how to imitate God and live in love. So this is one of those parts of the divine message that is easy to understand, but hard to live out. I think you all know what I'm talking about, because we all have people, situations, or memories that fill us with bitterness and anger. Everyone has that. Not even the saints are free of those feelings. The only people that are never bitter or angry about anything are the people that really don't care about anything. For the rest of us, that is, most of us, we have to deal with this from time to time. We have to deal with it here and there. I'll tell you, to be sure, it is true for me. There were people who ticked me off at my last church. 5 o'clock mass, didn't think that was very funny. It was also true for the church before that, and seminary before that, and college before that. It's just a consistent thing. And for the most part, it's the people that were consistently cruel and manipulative to the point of doing real damage to other people. And in the reading, Paul is saying we have to put away bitterness and anger. That doesn't mean turning a blind eye to the bad things that you're witnessing. I mean, after all, we are all creatures of causality. That means that when you get angry, you're probably angry for a reason. So Paul isn't saying just ignore bad things. But what he's saying is, whatever else has to happen, whatever else is going on, you can't let the bitterness stay there and spread. We all have to be better than the anger, and we can't let our fury rule us. That's what Paul is really talking about. And there are a number of ways of achieving that. For one thing, admitting that we were wrong and they were right. No one likes doing that, but sometimes that's what it takes. At other points, sometimes what it takes is getting some distance between you and that object of bitterness. Distance can heal a great many wounds if you let it. And if all other coping mechanisms fail, sometimes what it takes is letting the pain of the past remain in the past and moving on with your life. That happened to me. Something like that happened to me anyway, just this week. Because there was a guy that drove me nuts in the seminary. He was a little older than me. He was 2 or 3 years ahead of me in the seminary. So now, we're both priests. And as a matter of fact, about a year ago, we were both asked to start serving on the Archdiocesan Council of Priests and the Executive Council of Priests. Now, in the seminary, this guy drove me crazy on a weekly basis, and I'm pretty sure I drove him just as crazy. So now we're on this council together, and this is not like this huge conference room where we can pretend we don't see each other. The Executive Council is only 5 priests, the 3 bishops and 2 lay people. So we have to interact every 6 weeks or so. And as a related point of the story, we happen to be the youngest guys currently serving on the council. Now I'll tell you, we get along better now than we ever did 6 years ago. And I don't know why. Maybe we're older and wiser. I doubt it, but it's possible. Just call it a hunch. It's also possible that we just understand each other a little better now. I don't know. But whatever the case is, we actually see eye to eye on a lot of things. We agree with one another, and we back each other up at these meetings. And frankly, we do a very good job representing our generation of priests. And it's true, we don't agree on everything, and I wouldn't call him a friend in the fullest sense of the word, but truth be told, I have come to look forward to seeing him at these meetings. And that means that at the end of the day, our priestly brotherhood, which is so important, our priestly brotherhood has proven stronger than the bitterness and pettiness. And that's the Holy Spirit. That is absolutely the Holy Spirit at work. That is how God frees us from the pain of the past. It is never too late to put it behind you, forgive and forget, and get on with life. It is never too late to do that. Never. So that brings me to the other side of the equation, the people who don't have quite enough Holy Spirit, the people who can't let go of their anger or their fury. That some of you are thinking of an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend right about now. Maybe an in-law or two. I feel like maybe about half of you are thinking of your boss right about now. Whoever you're thinking of, if you're thinking of anyone, you know the problem of having someone in your life who cannot forgive or forget. Those people are exhausting to be around, aren't they? Because once you've closed your heart to the very idea of forgiveness, everything becomes a matter of life and death. And don't worry, I'm not talking about being in a bad mood. That's all of us. All of us have our bad days. All of us have our pet peeves. All of us have what I might call isolated incidents that don't really necessarily define us as individuals. But those people who are completely closed to the Holy Spirit, they can't handle anything in life without an explosion of drama. I mean, can you imagine what that's like? Can you imagine what it's like to be angry at all times about everything? That sounds horrible. But that's life without the Holy Spirit. As a matter of fact, my friend Rob encountered a person like that a couple of months ago. And he was actually so shaken by what happened to him, he actually told all of us like the same story, because he just needed to get this off his chest. So as the story goes, my friend Rob was driving home or whatever, I forgot exactly where he was going. So he's driving his car, and there's a cyclist coming at a different road. And it's one of those weird intersections where it's not a 90-degree angle where you could see the cyclist coming. It was one of those weird angles where Rob couldn't conveniently see, incoming traffic. So Rob is driving down, and the cyclist just goes right past the stop sign without even slowing down, cuts Rob off, and Rob almost hits the guy with his car. He had to swerve out of the way and all that. And everything was fine. Rob did the right thing. No one was hurt. But after that, it was such a near miss, and because Rob is that kind of guy, he followed the cyclist for a little while and, pulled over, had him pull over to the side of the road and said, hey, buddy, in case you were unaware, I almost hit you with my car. This could have gone very badly for the both of us. Please, for your own sake, in the future, mind the rules of the road. And this cyclist just exploded at him. I mean, we're talking swears at full volume. We're talking name-calling that I can't repeat because we're in church. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. And Rob didn't poke the hornet's nest any more than he already did, so, he went back to him, just got back on the road. But he drove the rest of the way home profoundly confused and rattled because that cyclist's reaction was inappropriate and unreasonable. I don't know if you guys have someone like that in your life. I have a number of people who react like that in life. They explode and flip out about anything. anything at all, and you think, oh no, surely not everything, Justin, no, like anything. If you have someone like that in your life, you probably know the frustration of having every little blip of conversation be a trigger for bitterness and anger. That is no way to live. All of us, Catholic or otherwise, we are called to be better than the anger that exists within all of us. We're called to move past it. We're called to forgive and forget. And we're called to imitate Christ and do his work on earth together as one.